Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of Digital Marketing Stories. I'm absolutely delighted today to have Stas, who's coming to us from Andorra. He's actually from Ukraine originally, but he's now living in Andorra. And the company that he's working for is called, is it Leader Private?
Yeah, but it's correct. It's Leader Private.
It's fantastic to meet you. Tell us a little bit about how you got into the industry.
Yeah, it's been a while. So I've started 10 years ago, started as an affiliate individual. So I started media buys on different niches. My main core is lead gen. And the last 5 years, it's mostly social networks like TikTok and Facebook. We work with the insurance industry now. It's health insurance, car insurance on US, mortgage insurance, and all this stuff. Also, we work with a mainstream dating niche, so we do lead gen for these services. So 10 years ago, I started my way in this business in affiliate marketing, and after 4 years, I decided to open my company and to create a team. So I started to hire people, and at this moment, we have 20 people in-house team, and I don't know to say about outsource, but we have a lot of also outsource partners now as well. So 20 people in-house at this moment.
It's great. I mean, like I always kind of say there's a couple of things you can't fake, and one of the things you can't fake is you can't fake longevity. So 10 years is a good length of time to be in the industry. And it's funny. I've spoken to a lot of previous guests, and they have a sort of typical journey that they've taken. They start off working for themselves, like doing primarily affiliate related stuff, and then they start to evolve and become. I mean, I call it they call it legitimate businesses, right? But I don't really think being an affiliate was ever, to me, it was never an illegitimate business. I mean, I did a lot of affiliate marketing back in the day. And again, for me, having an agency was a natural evolution to go from kind of running affiliate business to basically sort of setting up an agency. And part of the reason that I set up my agency was I wanted to eventually get to the point where I could sell it, right? And I didn't think that anyone would have bought an affiliate business. So I decided to kind of set up an agency. And like when you look at it now, I think there are so many people that have actually gone out and done incredibly well selling affiliate related businesses.
Yeah, it's true. So affiliate business, it's nowadays it's a big system that you should support. You should hire people. You should use different technologies. It's about HR, of course, because and you just run, you perform, and you make profit. And big deal. And to work with the people, it's much more complicated this moment, and always was. So you should
So
know processes and structure. Yeah.
So one of the challenges I always found, and I do a lot of consulting now, where I talk to people who are getting into affiliate marketing for the first time, and one of the challenges is always how you decide which offers you're going to run, right? Because there's so many people that maybe are offering the same type of offers, and how do you decide which one is the best one for you to run? How did you kind of go through that process of deciding which advertisers you wanted to specifically work with, or if you were doing things through a network, how did you decide which networks you wanted to work with?
Yeah, thank you for the question. Yeah, I have a good response for this question. So, as I've been known in the industry and I've been working for 10 years, I visited most of the affiliate shows and big affiliate summits in US, in Europe, in Asia. So I know big community, and we are working only with the trustworthy advertisers, only with the reference. So we don't work with the no-name companies before we don't check if they pay in the terms, if they don't have any problems in the industry. We have different communities, different chats. So you can ask people, do you know these guys? Are they trustworthy? And after this, we just start signing contracts, and we are checking all the points of the contract. And the main it's a reference, of course. If we know people who work with these advertisers and they don't have any problems, we start to do it. If we know that some people had some issues, So we are checking more details, and we can even skip this advertiser and don't start to work because it's risky. We work with the big volumes, and I don't want to risk my company, my team, and my money, of course. So
Cash,
it's
yeah.
profit. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
because
Oh,
I think a lot of advertisers and agencies assume that as an affiliate that you're going to be desperate to kind of like take their offers, and as you say, like sometimes I always found like for me the experience was bitter, right? I had a couple of advertisers and agencies not pay me, right? And for me it's like it's always horrible because ultimately, as you say, like I mean I used to buy a lot of traffic on Google back in the day, and if you've kind of committed to spend the money, you've spent the money, right? I mean, I could have spent 20, 30, $40,000 on advertising. And if the advertiser doesn't pay me, then I'm on the hook, right? I can't turn around to Google and say, hey, you know what? Don't worry about it. The advertiser didn't pay me, so I'm not going to pay you, but I'm going to carry on running all sorts of other offers. They just wouldn't do that, right? They would always insist on kind of you getting the money. They get their money. And so for that reason, I'm a bit like you. I was quite particular about which advertisers I wanted to work with and which agencies, and I wouldn't do anything unless I could get some sort of validation that they were a legitimate business and that they paid their bills on time. So
yeah, well, one of the most important point is to know personally some people from this company. If it's people with a good track, if they it could work before in different companies and you know them. So you ask if it's a good company, you work. Yeah, of course, and 99% of the responses, yeah, of course, it's a good company and we can work. So it's just industry opinion. If you have
yeah.
it, you can start to work. If you then have a good feedbacks, it's better to go to another advertisers and to build relationships there.
So what do you think? What do you think as an affiliate? What would you say are the most important things that you want to negotiate with your advertiser or your agency, right, in order for you to kind of like do well with them moving forward?
Yeah, of course. So when you already onboarded, just start slowly to check how is the track, how is account managers' responses, and how they pay. So and after 1 2 months, you can scale. If you see that it's a good company, it's a big, it's no problem, always in time. So you can scale a lot and just show the quality and big volumes. And when you show a stable traffic, stable quality, everyone is in a win-win position and everyone would like to scale. We had such cases with a search arbitrage before with IFD feeds. I guess you know this industry as well.
Yeah.
So we used to work with Facebook and TikTok traffic to search feeds, and we started slowly with these guys. We just check in day-to-day feedbacks. How is traffic? How is it perform? Are you happy? Yeah, yeah, yeah. We are happy. You can scale twice, 3 times. Okay, let's do it. And we did it in a years, 3 years. So and no problem, any nothing. We also we just had a very good experience with the Google Feeds. So same model, you can work in different verticals. Just start slowly to check the partner if everything is good. So boost and make money.
Yeah, that was the thing I always found funny. Like a lot of people, I worked with travel companies and so on, and they would always talk about like you're a travel company, and I mean ultimately I said no, we're not a travel company, we're a click selling company. We were doing arbitrage, we were selling clicks to airlines and online travel agents, right? And ultimately all we were doing is just arbitrage. We were buying traffic for say 20 cents on Google and selling it somewhere else for like $1, right? And ultimately we didn't really care what happened as far as the journey of the kind of the original point of entry for us with the click at 20 cents, right? And the exit to the airline or online travel agent for $1, right? We didn't care. I mean, initially we didn't care. Eventually it got to the point where we started to kind of go, well, maybe we're leaving more money on the table. So we started to kind of do strategic partnerships with airlines and travel agents where we actually got paid a result based upon the actual outcome of the transaction, right? So if it was somebody looking for a flight going from say London to Barcelona, that might be if it's one person, that could be maybe a a 80, €100 flight, right? Maybe not so much now, but certainly back in the day, then it would be that sort of money. So for us, we would make very little money on that particular transaction. But if it was somebody that was, let's say they were going from London to New Zealand, right, and they were going in business class and they were taking their family, that could be a huge deal, right? So it could be, we could take a commission on the actual value of the transaction rather than on just the kind of click that we were sending out to the airline, right? So it's almost like I think sometimes you need to look at it from the point of view of how can I kind of manage my own risk, right? I want to try and I think sometimes having a hybrid of some elements that are kind of you get paid for each visitor, so pay per click, right? Or whether you get paid on performance, so CPA or rev share. I think that can quite often work well also.
Yeah, yeah, it's a very good case, and on US market, it's always we work on CPA or rev share, and so the main goal is to generate the quality traffic, and everyone is happy. So yeah, it's a good case.
So the agency that you have now, did you transition completely away from affiliate, or do you still sort of have some affiliate business and kind of agency business?
We have some kind of agency business and affiliate business as well, so it's a two direction.
Okay.
Uh, so affiliate business is still busy, and you can work. And of course, we have a big experience in different niches and know a lot of people. So we continue affiliate business as well.
So how important do you think it is to, because you mentioned like earlier about going to the kind of conferences and shows, how important is it to kind of go and sort of actually physically be there in person with other people in the industry?
I think it's one of the most important stuff to go to the shows, because you show to the people that you're in business, you don't hide somewhere, you're public. And of course, in a person, you can arrange more details, you can see your partner, you can discuss more points, and you can make more deals even. So I 100% I advise to go to big shows. So try to focus where on what niche you work, and start building relationships online, and continue to work with the people in person. The biggest deals I had after personal meeting.
Yeah,
So
I
it
was
it
I
it
used to
it it,
jokingly,
it, it always work. It always
yeah,
work.
I've always said to people that most of the best deals I've ever done have happened at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning when we're in a bar somewhere, right? We're blind drunk and we agree that we're going to do some work together. And those have been quite often the best relationships I've built with people, but also the best deals in terms of the kind of the money that I've made down the line after kind of cementing the deal over a couple of drinks.
Yeah, it's happened from time to time, but now I can share as well that different sport activities on the conference, for example, running, paddle tournaments, it's a good places for networking. So, of course, different ways you can speak. Just you should be not shy, communicative people, a person, and to be open to feedbacks, to communication with the different people. So, and just build relationships, not one time. It's for long term. So it's the main case how to make profit. If you will not go to the shows, success should be much lower level. So
Yeah, I also think I think a lot of people go to the show. So again, you mentioned like affiliate events. I mean, like affiliate summit's been going on for forever, and I typically I don't go to both affiliate summits. I just do the West Coast one now, so the one in Vegas. And for me, it was always a case of I was amazed at how many people I would meet, and they would say, I'd say, what are you doing tonight? Which parties are you going to? And they say, oh no, we're going to the like a concert, or we're going to like we're going to go and do Top Golf or whatever it might be, but doing something that wasn't industry related, right? So they were doing, or they'd go gambling, right? And I'm thinking, well, this, to me, that's a missed opportunity, right? Because as you say, you have 6,000 people all in the same industry, all in one place at the same time, right? And it's easy to kind of get around. And I don't necessarily think you need to spend a huge amount of time walking the floor, right? But I think certainly if you hang around in the bars and various kind of hotels, you'll get a lot of opportunity to kind of meet people who are quite often decision makers within businesses, right? And they can kind of do things for you that you may not be able to ever do if you just try to reach out to them by email or phone, right? So I think having kind of that physical face-to-face contact is absolutely essential.
Yeah. And also it's good for community. It's a side event on the shows, always works well. And I am such person that I'd like to know new people and I like to communicate. So I'm so happy always to have one, two new contacts from the industry, from the conference. This moment usually is because of the reference of my partners, mostly. Mostly it's easier way, but yeah, I highly recommend people who start an affiliate business go to the different shows and to have communication with the potential partners.
100% me too. I can't recommend it enough. I mean, at the moment, I think I'm sort of slowly getting back into the throes of going to shows because I went through a phase where, because of the pandemic, I didn't go anywhere for any length of time. And I got used to not going to conferences. And for me, again, it's sort of like I'm in a different stage in life and my business now than maybe a lot of the kind of younger people starting out, right? So I have less hustle, and I don't feel I need to hustle as much as I used to, but that doesn't mean that I don't still get great enjoyment out of going to the shows and meeting up with like existing old friends that I've had in the industry for a long time, but also meeting and helping new people in the industry.
Yeah, sure. Me neither. So I visit less conferences this year, but I have must have conferences. It's Affiliate Summit in New York, for example, this year in July, AW in Budapest. So it's this is really the best show since the conference. So
I think it's really interesting because I remember at one point in time that anyone that was involved in the industry that was based in North America, right? More often than not, they wouldn't go to any of the shows outside of North America, right? But you mentioned AW in Budapest. They do have one in Bangkok, right? And you see so many people from America now go to those shows, right? They'll go to Budapest, they'll go to Bangkok, right? There's one in Barcelona, I think. I can't remember when that is, but they typically have lots of events, and people will go to them, right, from the States because they realize that there is a massive opportunity to kind of collaborate with publishers and partners who are based in Europe who may not go to every single show that is in the States, right? So it's their opportunity to kind of go and pick up new relationships with people that they wouldn't otherwise have had.
yeah, and the big companies usually they have booths on the show stands, so people could come to the booth and to get acquainted with the different guys, with the account managers. I had maybe hundreds of such meetings when I started, and I know these people, and we keep relationships, so we still in communication. These people already changed 3, 5 companies, but still we are in communication and always say, Stas, so what are you doing now? Maybe we can do. So it's a big community. Yeah. So
Yeah. Yeah, and it's interesting. Like a lot of the people that have been doing it for a long time, they've evolved and they're doing different things now, right? So again, I think I've got lots of friends now who have been in the industry for 20 plus years, and they're still as excited, if not more excited, because of the onset of things like AI, pay per call, right? There's so many different things that have kind of come to the table recently, right? That has really excited them to sort of stick around and evolve some of their skill set. But again, I think a lot of the skills that they have and that I have, it involves building relationships with people face to face, right? And those are not, you can't really sort of use AI to kind of build a personal relationship like face to face. It just doesn't work that way, right? So for me, yes, you can use AI to kind of help eliminate some of the friction that you have in terms of the job that you're doing to enable you to free up more time to be able to do more of that face to face stuff, right? So I use AI a lot, right, to help run sort of elements of my business, right, that I could employ a person to kind of do that, but I don't see the point in spending money on that. I'd much rather spend money on hiring people that can go to shows and talk to people and build relationships, right, that way, knowing that the technology is there kind of doing the things in the background that we need to kind of do in order to get the best performance. So
yeah, even a good point to share experience in which sphere of your business you are using AI. what kind of technologies, what the companies in the top. It's better to have your own infrastructure or use third-party services. So it's a AI. It's a huge trend now at this moment, and we can see that it's deeply inside of corporations and small companies as well. So even people not from industries they are using day to day. So we are of course we are using as well AI. It's
So what sort of things are you using it for in your business?
yeah. So we use content generation AI. We use for analytical and statistical stuff, for sometimes for optimizing campaigns. But at this moment, it's just R&D. So we try to check how it works and compare with manual work. But we involve more and more AI stuff in our day-to-day business. So yeah, it's progress the last couple years, and even with the coding, you can do just simple tasks with the AI automatization.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always blown away at some of the use cases people are using in terms of actually creating skills that can enable them to kind of do tasks. I would say, like, if you have a task that you do within your agency that you do more than like once, right? So the minute you start to do something for the second time, right, you should be turning that into a skill specifically for your agency to enable it to be done in a more efficient and effective way, right? Again, I've always kind of said that I think as long as you understand what the task that you're sort of turning into a skill is, right, and how it should look, right, because I think sometimes people go into the kind of go into it blind and they just kind of take a skill, apply it and go, yeah, that's it, it's done, it's great, right? But if you don't actually know what the end result should look like, right, it's very difficult for you to kind of quality control the output to know whether you've got hallucinations in there or whether it's actually going to get you into trouble, right? I mean, so many people
Yeah.
I've seen have lost Facebook accounts because they've run AI. They kind of end up with ads that are completely like false, and Facebook ding them quickly, right? And they
Yeah,
end up
yeah.
losing their business manager, and they go, I didn't do anything wrong. It's like, well, you did, right? You trusted AI kind of blindly when you shouldn't have done. So
Even Facebook, TikTok, and Google now have AI moderation a lot. They implement these days a lot of this stuff, and let's see in nearest future how is the industry growing. So yeah.
what would you say if you were going to go, right, I'm going to try and do something different that nobody else is doing at the moment? Where would you kind of sort of recommend publishers and affiliates look in terms of traffic types, right, or traffic sources? Are there any kind of like things that you're trying now that you haven't tried before that you're amazed with the results that you're getting?
No, it's a good for affiliates now to pay attention to native ads, open web. So it's like such like Outbrain, Taboola, MGID. So it's a good traffic source. It's difficult to optimize. It's high budgets tests, but still it's a very good audience there because people there they are on the real websites. They are reading articles or different news and they are clicking. They are more focused when they click because TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, for example, they are just swiping and they're trying to find some wow effect. And on these open web traffic sources, people are more concentrated and leads, in my opinion, sometimes on some verticals, leads are more quality than from social networks. So I highly recommend still, if you even tried before, still try rep content or Outbrain. That's a very good traffic sources for all the white hat niches.
Yeah, I mean, I've run ads on sort of Taboola, Outbrain. I think I've also ran a little bit on one called AdBlade, right back in the day, way back, like a long time ago. And as you say, like I think sometimes it's called native advertising for a reason because the ad copy, like it's almost a case of you don't have to kind of create the ad yourself. The ad gets built, right, based upon the publisher's site to make it look like it belongs on there, right? And I think sometimes that's where I think people kind of fall down. They try and enforce. They say, I've got this banner, I want it to go on this page, right? And it just looks ugly. Whereas if it's a native ad, it'll have the same font, the same color scheme as the actual publisher's website. So it'll look as though it belongs there. Like it'll look native, hence the name, right? So, and I think sometimes if you get the kind of the placement right, so if you have a specific offer that you're promoting and there's a publisher with a specific placement that you can kind of really dive into and get granular, right, then you can get huge, incredible results with it, right? But as you say, like there's a lot of traffic. I think a lot of the publishers on some of these native networks are poor, right? I say they're poor. They're not necessarily poor for everyone, right? If you're doing arbitrage, right, and you're paying very little money for the click, right, you could be making more on the back end, right? Because you could be paying, say, 5 or 6 cents on the front end, right, and getting 50, 60 cents on the back end, right? You don't really care kind of what happens on the front end because they're ultimately clicking through to your site and off your site, off to the people that you're partnering with, right? So that can, I found native can quite often be good for search arbitrage, right? But equally, it's good for some, like for people that are doing long form video sales letters, that type of thing, right? So we've seen some success with things like hearing aids. So the ad copy looks really strange, right? So it kind of drags people hooks them into the kind of the packaging of the title and the description, right? And then when they come to the site, there could be a video sales letter, and they could get great results from that. So
Yeah, it's a good traffic source, for example, for home improvement as well. So a lot of people are looking for good services in US and UK and how to rebuild his house or how to repair some stuff. So it's a very good audience, but you should remember that it's about big budgets, really. So if you're a new guy in affiliate marketing, I highly recommend you maybe to start with more simple teasers and with the lower budgets because here is it's a big companies and native and they have big publishers and it's really tons of the traffic and you should optimize and you should set up and start 20-30K for the first months at least
yeah, because
to check how it works.
yeah, I've always found that as you say, that there are some premium publishers that the native networks have, right, where the cost typically is much, much higher than it would be for the run of the mill kind of publishers that they have on their network, right? But ultimately, that's where you get the quality. That's where you get the good results from, right? So you need to be competitive with your budgets, right? Both in terms of what you're prepared to spend for each visitor, but also how much you're prepared to spend on a monthly basis, right? So as you say, if you've got $1,000 a day, right, and you're prepared to pay for placements on MSN or something like that, then you can get good results, right? But I think a lot of people think that they can kind of get traffic for $20 and $20 a day and play 20 cents a click or something like that. And the opportunities there, the publishers that they have at that lower level are much, much less quality. And I think that's going to ultimately lead to people having a difficulty in hitting the performance that they want to get in terms of the ROAS.
Yeah, even now, if you start like individual affiliate, you should prepare a budget because before 10 years ago, we could start with a 10, 20K. It was enough just to warm up and to check how is traffic perform. At this moment, it's you need more money to check analytics and to optimize your campaigns. So if you don't have enough budget, just go to work in an agency or affiliate team, and you also could make really good numbers there. So I know that because I pay to people, so it's a big opportunities, and you don't need to make your own business.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of
Just come
people
to a
who,
good people, good team to join to them and to improve them, and that's it.
yeah, yeah, I've got a lot of friends that started life as affiliate manager and then realized how much money some of their publishers were making, and then they decided to kind of become a publisher, right? So they understood how the business worked, they understand where the real money was being made, and they realized that it wasn't as an affiliate manager, it was as an affiliate or publisher, and they could make good money that way. And I'm curious to know, like obviously you've got your agency now that's grown to 20 people. How do you retain people in your agency to prevent them kind of doing that, going and kind of setting up on their own?
I have a very democratic, how to say, I have democratic management in my company. So And also, it's a great role is HR. So I have HR department that is supporting people, communication, and always I see in what way people want to grow, and I give them this opportunity because I understood before what resources you should have to develop, and I understand these people. A lot of people high motivated and they want to grow up. You always should discuss with your team exact goals and what is the motivation for them and how much they want to earn this year or next year. And so you can expect the behavior of your guys and you can pay more attention here. And that's why, mm, in, in average, I work with the people 8 years,
That's
maybe.
good. That's
Yeah,
impressive.
yeah.
I've always found that the biggest challenge of having people working in an agency is that I've seen a lot of agency owners make the mistake of assuming that everyone that works there is only interested in money, right? And money is not the only thing that motivates people and wants them to kind of turn up at work, right? They want to be paid well for what they do, right? But sometimes it is the opportunity to kind of manage other people, to have a proper career path in terms of where they're going, right? That they're involved in some of the decision making about what sort of offers they run and that type of thing, right? Rather than they're there just to kind of, there's your job, you just do your job and shut up, right? And I think, again, I think a lot of agency owners have made the mistake of assuming that everyone is just there for money. So if they offer them a little bit more money, they'll be happy and they will stay, right? And some people have got fire in their bellies. They want to kind of evolve and grow and do things kind of differently, right? And sometimes if you're an agency owner, you can help support that, right? I've had lots of people that I've worked with in the past where they have come to me with ideas, right? And I've gone, that's a great idea. Let's, how do you want to do it, right? And sometimes they would be, well, I want to do it all on my own. I'm like, great, well, that's fine. I have no issue with that, right? They've been upfront and told me about it, right? But equally, sometimes they're worried about sort of doing it because they don't necessarily have the ability to kind of take some of the risks that maybe people like you and I would be able to do because of our longevity of doing what we do, right? So they need support and help to kind of do that, right? So it could be I can give them some of my time or I can give them some of my money to help support them grow the initiative, right? And I could take sort of a bit like a Dragon's Den type scenario. I could take an equity stake in their business, right, in return for some of my expertise, right? And I think the more people share about it, I think it would be, you're very naive if you're an agency owner and you assume that people aren't going to be wanting to do some stuff of their own, right? So it's a case of have an environment where they can talk about it openly and freely, but you don't want it to be that they're doing all of their own work and none of your work, right? Because that's going to be detrimental to your business.
It's also good stuff. Yeah, completely agree with you. And you're also full of energy always. So, and charismatic leader because only such people work with the people for a long time. And I agree with you that you could support new ideas of your team and give them opportunity just to check, maybe to test this hypothesis, and you will close their gestalt, and that's it, and you work together and you are on the same way. So it's important. It's important because we work, of course, for good money, for salaries, for bonuses, but also we should do something big together. And my people, I I guess that my people always feel that I'm with them near day to day. So I work with them and I understand this business as well. Like I'm a practical affiliate. So I don't just COO of the corporations that comes to the team to manage them and I don't understand. No, I understand the specific of this activity. I know how is technology work. I know how to analyze, how to optimize, and they are feeling that yeah, our boss with the expertise. So let's keep working together and let's do good numbers.
Yeah, that you're absolutely right. I think you lead by example, right? So you need to be able to. I'm not saying that that has to be the only thing you do, but at the same time, is you need to be able to kind of step up and show that you still have the skills and capabilities, right? I mean, if you look at anyone that's run ads on Facebook in the last, well, I mean, I started Facebook ads in 2009, I think it was, right? So that's like what, 17 years, right? And in that time, I mean, the only thing that I've been guaranteed is one, that it would be like broken all the time, it would be changing all the time, right? But there's been an evolution of how things have worked, right? And for me, I've always been testing different theories, different sort of strategies, right? Different ideas, right? I want to try and push the boundaries as far as I can, right? So that then as the team, when I kind of go to them and say, hey, I want us to try this, I'm not doing it just based on what I think is gut feel. It's something that quite often I've implemented across the board for some of the clients that I work with, right? So I know that when they're going to do it with the clients that they work with, that it's a kind of tried and tested model rather than just kind of like a guess of what might work.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
And I enjoy it. I mean, that's for me, that's one of the most exciting parts of the job that I do, is that I get to kind of manage campaigns and ads on a day-to-day basis, right? I'm still very kind of active and proactive in doing it, right? And I manage people less, right? And manage campaigns more, which I enjoy. So
Yeah, for me as well, it's like a lifestyle. It's not a challenge for me. I also used to work with some campaigns. I'm a marketer. Of course, I'm owner of the company, and but still for me, it's very interesting industry. And mm, I believe in this industry. It's a dynamic, and you should keep strength every day, every month. And only all this stuff that gives me an energy to continue this business, and it makes my business profitable. So, and my guys are following me and we work, and I appreciate to work with my team and want to say them hi.
So Stas, this has been a phenomenal conversation. I've loved having you on as a guest. If there's anything that you would like to kind of share with my audience, what sort of one tip would you maybe give them as a kind of parting gesture in terms of what they might want to do, either working with you, it's like if you're looking for publishers to kind of work with or advertisers to work with, maybe this would be a good opportunity if you kind of put something out there now to talk to them about that.
No, just guys, I can recommend you. Don't afraid and keep going. And you can understand that it's a risky, but personal message, personal meetings, it's one of the most important stuff. And if you want to work and organize your own business, it's about structure, it's about system, it's about the right people on your board. So if you are affiliate individual, just check detailedly your partners, advertisers, publishers. Do not lose your money and scale gradually. And this is maybe the main recommendation. Be careful. Be careful
And
with the money,
there's
with the budgets, because you can burn in one moment.
yeah.
So
And there are plenty of communities that kind of exist on Telegram and Slack and various kind of other places, and I'll include some of those in the show notes in terms of where you can kind of go to kind of collaborate with other people who are in the affiliate space. Because for me, again, I think you're only as good as the strength of your network, right? And I think the stronger your network, the stronger your presence in the industry is going to be. So Stas, thanks again so much for being a great guest on the show, and I look forward to talking to everyone else on the next episode of the digital marketing stories. Thanks a
thank you,
lot.
Jim. Thank you, Jim. I was appreciate to take a part in your podcast. Hope I see you again in a while, so and we can discuss more points and more changes in the industry. So thank you.
Absolutely. I think for me, it's such a dynamic industry. I've enjoyed being part of it, and I hope to continue to be part of it moving forward. So thanks again.
Thanks. Thank you very much.